This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, students. Last class, we discussed the Rankins earth pressure theory, active earth pressure theory, by considering the backfill as a Kosu backfill. Already in the previous classes, we discussed this Rankins active earth pressure theory for cautionless backfill. In the year 1857, Rankine proposed his earth pressure theory. It is applicable to active condition and also passive condition if the backfill is a cautionless backfill. But later on, the Rankine's earth pressure theory was modified. And the Rankine's earth pressure theory is also applicable to Kosu soil in both the active condition and also in the passive condition. In the today's class, we are going to discuss the Rankine's active earth pressure theory if the backfill. You know the meaning of backfill, the soil behind the retaining wall. Otherwise, the soil supported by the retaining wall is called backfill soil. If that backfill soil is a Kosu backfill, what is this modified Rankine's active earth pressure theory? Before going to discuss the application of Rankine's active earth pressure theory for Kosu soils, first understand the Coulomb-Moore shear strength equation of Kosu soil. According to Coulomb-Moore equation, the shear strength of the soil is given by S is equal to or tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi. This is the Coulomb-Moore's equation for the shear strength of Kosu soil. In that equation, S is the shear strength of soil or tau. C is the portion of soil, Kosu soil. Sigma is the normal stress acting in the soil. Phi is the angle of shearing resistance of soil. That equation tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi can be represented in the graphical form. In that graphical form, on x-axis we consider that normal stress sigma. On y-axis we consider the shear strength tau. Then this equation S is equal to C plus sigma tan phi in the graphical form is like this. This is the graphical form. So check that picture in the cell phone screens. In that picture on x-axis, we consider the normal stress in the soil. On y-axis, we consider the shear strength or shear stress in the soil. Then the equation of shear strength in Kosu soil, tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi, is in the form of a straight line in that graph. Check that straight line. That straight line is not passing through horizon. That straight line is intersecting the y-axis above the horizon. So please everyone focus on that straight line. That straight line is the graphical form of the equation tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi. That straight line tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi is also called the failure envelope of the Kosu soil. Failure envelope of the Kosu soil. That straight line, that failure envelope in the Kosu soil is not passing through horizon O. Whereas in cautionless soil, in the previous classes I explained, in the cautionless soil, the failure envelope is passing through horizon. Because in the cautionless soil, the shear strength tau is equal to sigma tan phi. But in the Kosu soil, the shear strength tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi. So, the failure envelope in the Kosu soil is not passing through the horizon. It intersects the y-axis above the horizon. So, check that intersection in the diagram. The intersection of the failure envelope of the Kosu soil with y-axis. That failure envelope of the Kosu soil is not passing through this horizon. It is intersecting the y-axis above the horizon. Then this vertical distance on the y-axis, this vertical height from the horizon up to this point of intersection, this is called the quiescency of the Kosu soil. This intercept on the y-axis from origin up to this point of intersection indicates the cohesion of the Kosu soil, attraction between the Kosu soil particles, and also the failure envelope in the Kosu soil makes an angle phi with horizontal. This is angle of shearing resistance of the Kosu soil. With the horizontal, the failure envelope makes an angle phi. Now, if the stresses in the Kosu soil, either the normal stresses or the shear stresses, if the stresses in the Kosu soil are below this failure envelope, if the stresses in the Kosu soil are below the failure envelope, the Kosu soil is in the safe condition. The Kosu soil is safe. That is, no failure in the Kosu soil if the stresses in the Kosu soil lies below the failure envelope. If the stresses in the Kosu soil lies on the failure envelope, if the stresses in the Kosu soil lies on the failure envelope, then that Kosu soil is in the failure condition. So that is the Kosu soils concept by using this failure envelope. So with this concept of failure envelope of the Kosu soil, we are going to discuss the Rankin's active earth pressure theory if the backfill is a Kosu backfill. We know that in the year 1857, Rankin proposed his earth pressure theory for cohesionless backfill. Both the active earth pressure theory and also passive earth pressure theory for cohesionless backfill. But later on, the other researchers, important in that is Russell and Bell. In the year 1910 and 1915, two researchers in geotechnical engineering, Russell and Bell, they modify this Rankin's earth pressure theory so that we can apply this Rankin's earth pressure theory even if the backfill is a Kosu backfill. Originally, the Rankin's earth pressure theory in the year 1857 is applicable only for the cohesionless backfill. But later on, Russell in 1910 and Bell in 1915, they modified the Rankin's earth pressure theory so that the Rankin's earth pressure theory is also applicable to the Kosu backfill. Now we are going to discuss what is that modification. What is that modification in the Rankin's active earth pressure theory if the backfill is a Kosu backfill? So please everyone try to understand that Rankin's active earth pressure theory for the Kosu backfill, how it is developed. In that process, in order to apply the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for Kosu backfill, first we consider the retaining wall supporting the backfill soil. So this is the diagram. So I am going to explain the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for the Kosu backfill. In order to understand, in order to get the equation for active earth pressure if the backfill is a Kosu backfill, that is by using the Rankin's active earth pressure theory. First we consider the retaining wall supporting the backfill. H is the height of the retaining wall. Please everyone look at the picture in the diagram. H is the height of the retaining wall. It is supporting the backfill. The backfill has horizontal top surface. The top of the backfill is a horizontal surface. Here that backfill is a Kosu backfill. Consider that Kosu backfill is in the moist condition, partially saturated condition. In that moist condition, take gamma is the bulk unit weight of that Kosu backfill. So please everyone understand this carefully. We are going to discuss the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for Kosu backfill. First we consider the retaining wall. The backside of that retaining wall is vertical backside, smooth surface. The retaining wall is supporting the Kosu backfill. The Kosu backfill top surface is horizontal surface. The Kosu backfill is in the moist condition. Gamma is the bulk unit weight of the Kosu backfill. First we consider the soil element in that backfill at a depth z from the top of the backfill. We consider the soil element. Dear students, initially we assume that retaining wall is in the rest condition. So please understand this carefully. In order to discuss the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for Kosu backfill, first we consider the retaining wall is in rest condition. When the retaining wall is in rest condition, the backfill is also in the rest condition. The rest condition of backfill is also called elastic equilibrium condition. The rest condition of backfill is also known as the elastic equilibrium condition because in the rest condition there is no failure in the backfill, because in the rest condition there is no stretching in the backfill and also there is no compression in the backfill. So when the retaining wall is in rest condition, the backfill is also in the rest condition. In the rest condition, the backfill is said to be in the elastic equilibrium condition. So first we assume the retaining wall is in the rest condition, so that the backfill is in the elastic equilibrium condition, so that the soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill is also in the elastic equilibrium condition. Please remember, the backfill is a Kosu backfill. Now in that rest condition, the soil element subjected to two normal stresses. In the rest condition, the soil element in the backfill subjected to two normal stresses. First one is the vertical normal stress sigma V. Next one is the horizontal normal stress sigma H. Look at the vertical normal stress sigma V. The vertical normal stress sigma V is perpendicular to the horizontal surface of the soil element. On the horizontal surface of the soil element, the vertical stress sigma V is in the perpendicular direction. So sigma V is called the vertical normal stress acting on the soil element. Then the other stress sigma H. Sigma H is called the horizontal normal stress on the soil element because the stress sigma H is perpendicular to the vertical surface of the soil element. To that vertical surface of the soil element, the horizontal stress sigma H is in the perpendicular direction. So sigma H is called the horizontal normal stress in the soil element. So in the rest condition, the soil element subjected to two normal stresses, sigma V and sigma H. No shear stress acting on the soil element on any plane. No shear stress acting on the soil element on any plane. Since there is no shear stress acting on the soil element, the normal stresses sigma V, sigma H are considered as the principal stresses. normal stresses sigma v, sigma h are considered as the principal stresses because no shear stress is acting on the any plane of the soil element. We know that in the rest condition, sigma h is equal to k naught into sigma v. In the rest condition, sigma h horizontal stress is equal to k naught coefficient of at rest earth pressure into sigma v. K naught value is always less than 1. Since k naught is less than 1, sigma h is always less than sigma v in the rest condition. In the rest condition, the horizontal normal stress sigma h is less than the vertical stress sigma v. Just now we discussed. Since no shear stress acting on the soil element, sigma v is a principal stress, sigma h is also principal stress. Since sigma h is less than sigma v, in the rest condition, sigma v is considered as the major principal stress on the soil element. Sigma h is considered as the minor principal stress on the soil element. So in the rest condition, the soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill subjected to two principal stresses sigma v, sigma h. Sigma v is the major principal stress, that is called as sigma 1. Sigma h is the minor principal stress, that is taken as sigma 3. Remember, sigma h is equal to k naught into sigma v in the rest condition. So in the rest condition, the soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill subjected to two principal stresses sigma 1 is equal to sigma v in the vertically downward direction. Second principal stress sigma 3 is equal to sigma h in the horizontal direction. Now in the rest condition, by using the principal stresses sigma 1, sigma 3, prepare the Morse stress circle for this Kosu backfill soil element. Prepare the Morse stress circle for the rest condition of the Kosu backfill soil element. Please everyone look that Morse stress circle in the rest condition for this Kosu backfill soil element. This is that Morse stress circle, first one. In the diagram, the first Morse stress circle, this is that Morse stress circle. The first Morse stress circle in the diagram is the stresses in the soil element in at rest condition. Sigma h is the minor principal stress, lesser magnitude. Sigma v is the major principal stress, large magnitude. So by considering the minor principal stress sigma h, the major principal stress sigma v in the rest condition, we prepare this Morse stress circle for that Kosu backfill soil element. The first Morse stress circle in the diagram, please everyone focus on that Morse stress circles in your cell phone screens. The first Morse stress circle indicates the rest condition of the soil element. In the diagram, we also have the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill, this dotted line. This top dotted line is the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill. Since this first Morse stress circle is below this failure envelope, the stresses in the soil element in the rest condition, the stresses in the soil element in the rest condition are the safe stresses, because the first Morse stress circle is below the failure envelope. No failure in the backfill, that is the rest condition, elastic equilibrium condition. So in that diagram, the first Morse stress circle is in the rest condition, but we are discussing the Rankine's active earth pressure theory, not the rest condition. We are discussing the Rankin's active earth pressure theory. Dear students, we know that in the active condition, the retaining wall is moving away from the backfill. The retaining wall, due to defects in the construction, due to inefficient materials, not the suitable materials, or due to some other reasons, the retaining wall moving away from the backfill, small magnitude, few centimeters. So in the active condition, the retaining wall will move away from the backfill. When the retaining wall is moving away from the backfill subjected to horizontal stretching in the active condition. Horizontal stretching, one type of relaxation, horizontal stretching. So in the active condition, the retaining wall starts moving away from the backfill. When the retaining wall starts moving away from the backfill in the active condition, there is a horizontal stretching in the backfill. Because of that horizontal stretching in the active condition, in that soil element, look at that soil element. In that soil element, vertical stress sigma V remains constant, but the horizontal stress sigma H starts decreasing because the retaining wall in the active condition moving away from the backfill. So the backfill in the active condition undergoes to horizontal stretching. Because of that horizontal stretching, the vertical stress sigma V remains constant in the active condition, but the horizontal stress sigma H gradually decreases because the backfill is under horizontal stretching in active condition. Now, when that sigma H horizontal stress, when the sigma H horizontal stress gradually decreasing, the Morse stress circle, first Morse stress circle starts shifting towards the horizon. Vertical stress remains constant, but in the active condition, the horizontal stress sigma H gradually decreases when the retaining wall starts moving away from the backfill. The horizontal stress gradually decreases. When this sigma H gradually decreases, the sigma H point is moving towards the horizon because it is decreasing. When sigma H is decreasing, the diameter of the Morse stress circle starts increasing. This is the first Morse stress circle in the rest condition. Once this sigma H starts decreasing, the sigma H point is moving towards the horizon because it is decreasing. When sigma H point is moving towards the horizon, the diameter of the Morse stress circle increases because point B, vertical stress remains constant, no change. Vertical stress point B remains constant, only the point of sigma H on x-axis decreasing. So the diameter of the Morse stress circle increases. So at one stage in the active condition, sigma H is moving from the first Morse stress circle to second Morse stress circle. That indicates the decrease in the sigma H stress value. In the active condition at one stage, the sigma H stress decreases and it reaches the second Morse stress circle. This indicates the Morse stress circle from first to second indicates the decrease in the horizontal stress sigma H in the active condition. Check the first Morse stress circle, second Morse stress circle. First Morse stress circle in the rest condition, second Morse stress circle in the active condition. In the active condition, the stress sigma starts decreasing. So the diameter of the Morse stress circle increases. In the second Morse stress circle also, the second Morse stress circle also below the failure envelope, So in that second more stress circle condition, the backfill is in the safe condition. Even though the backfill subjected to active condition, the retaining wall moving away from the backfill is under horizontal stretching, but in the second more stress circle also, no failure, no complete failure developed in the backfill. But if that active condition continues, if the active condition continues, the sigma H stress further decreases. The sigma H stress, look at this second more stress circle. If that active condition again continues, again that sigma H from this second more stress circle starts decreasing. It is moving towards the horizon. From second more stress circle, if the active condition in the backfill continues, again the sigma H from the second more stress circle again decreases. When that sigma H stress in the active condition reaches the minimum value, that is at point A. At point A in the diagram, the horizontal stress sigma H in the backfill, Kosu backfill in the active condition reaches the minimum value. At minimum sigma H horizontal stress, check this third more stress circle. At minimum sigma H value, the third more stress circle touches the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill. At first more stress circle, below the failure envelope. Second more stress circle, below the failure envelope. No failure in the backfill. But in the third more stress circle, when we get third more stress circle, when that sigma H stress is reaching the minimum value in the active condition, sigma V remains constant. Even though sigma H reaches the minimum value in the active condition, the vertical stress remains constant. So point B, no change, remains same. Whereas only this point of horizontal stress is shifting towards the horizon because it is decreasing in the active condition. So when this sigma H reaches the minimum value at point A in the active condition, the more stress circle touches the failure envelope. That indicates the active failure in the Kosu backfill. The minimum horizontal stress, that is at point A, minimum horizontal stress indicates the touching of this more stress circle, third more stress circle with failure envelope. When the more stress circle of this Kosu backfill in the active condition touches the failure envelope, then this backfill in the active condition, Kosu backfill in the active condition is under failure. That is called the plastic equilibrium of the Kosu backfill. So dear students, in the today's class, we started this Rankin's active earth pressure theory for Kosu backfill. First by considering the backfill is in rest condition, that is the first more stress circle, no failure. When the active condition begins in the backfill, sigma H stress starts decreasing. At one stage, we got the second more stress circle. There is a decrease in the sigma H value from the first more stress circle to the second more stress circle. But again, if that active condition continues in the backfill, then that sigma H in the backfill becomes minimum at point A in the diagram. At that minimum sigma H stress, the more stress circle of the backfill. What is that more stress circle? Between the vertical stress sigma V, major principal stress, and the minimum sigma H, minor principal stress. Point B is the vertical stress sigma V, major principal stress. Point A is the minimum sigma H, that is the minor principal stress sigma 3. Then at minimum horizontal stress, the more stress circle, third more stress circle touches the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill. that indicates the failure condition of the Kosu backfill in the active condition, that is called the plastic equilibrium of that Kosu backfill. Now we are going to discuss the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for that Kosu backfill by considering the third Mohr stress circle and also the failure envelope in this diagram. First Mohr stress circle is not the active condition, rest condition. Second Mohr stress circle is not the complete active condition. It is only the limited active condition, whereas the third Mohr stress circle is the complete active condition in the Kosu backfill. So we are going to discuss the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for the Kosu backfill by considering the third Mohr stress circle. What is that third Mohr stress circle? AB is the diameter. A is the minimum sigma h. That is also called sigma 3. That is also called active earth pressure of the Kosu backfill. The point A in the diagram. Point A in the diagram is the minimum horizontal stress in the active condition, sigma h minimum, that is also sigma 3, that is also called as the active earth pressure PA for the Kosu backfill, whereas sigma V, that is vertical stress, is point B. Point B is the major principal stress, sigma 1. It is also equal to sigma V, vertical stress. So we are going to discuss the Rankin's active earth pressure theory for this Kosu backfill by considering the failure envelope in the diagram. Already we discussed that failure envelope in the Kosu soil. Tau is equal to C plus sigma tan phi, that is there in the diagram, the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill, and also by considering the third Mohr stress circle for the complete active condition of the Kosu backfill. So coming to that, Rankin's active earth pressure theory for that Kosu backfill by considering the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill and also the third Mohr stress circle of the Kosu backfill. This is the diagram. So in this diagram on x-axis we have the normal stress sigma. On y-axis the shear stress tau. Then look that inclined line ED. In the diagram, focus on that inclined line ED. That is the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill. The inclined line ED, that is the failure envelope with horizontal. The failure envelope ED making the angle phi. Phi is called angle of shearing resistance of the Kosu soil. So in the diagram, please focus on the straight line ED. The straight line ED is the failure envelope of the Kosu backfill. The length OE in that inclined straight line, the length OE on y-axis, that is on tau axis. The length OE is the coherency of the backfill, because the backfill is a Kosu soil. Kosu soil is having the property of coherency, whereas the coherentless soil, the coherency is 0. So in that diagram, the length OE on the y-axis or on the shear stress tau axis is the coherency. Dear students, first extend the straight line ED in the backward direction. First extend. What is the straight line ED? Failure envelope. Extend this straight line ED in the backward direction. Let this straight line ED extended in the backward direction meets the x-axis at point F. What is that x-axis? Normal stress axis, sigma axis. Extend The straight line ED, failure envelope, in the backward direction, let that failure envelope ED touches the x-axis, sigma axis at point F. Now in the diagram, at point F, the angle made by the failure envelope with horizontal is phi. Because in the Kosu soils, the failure envelope with horizontal making the angle phi. So at point F with horizontal, the failure envelope making the angle phi. Consider this right angle triangle OEF. Right angle triangle OEF. In this right angle triangle, OE is the portion of the backfill. Since the backfill is a Kosu soil, OE indicates the portion of the backfill. Phi is the angle of shearing resistance of the Kosu backfill, that is at point F. Take the right angle triangle OEF in the diagram. In that right angle triangle OEF, cot phi is equal to, you know, tan theta. Tan theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent side, whereas cot theta is equal to adjacent side by opposite side. So in the right angle triangle OEF, cot phi is equal to adjacent side OF divided by opposite side OE. Cot phi in the diagram, cot phi is equal to OF divided by OE, but OE is equal to portion C. So cot phi is equal to OF divided by C. Therefore, OF is equal to C cot phi. That is this length OF. The length OF in the diagram is C cot phi. Now coming to the third most stress circle. AB is the third most stress circle. This is the complete active condition in the Kosu backfill. The most stress circle AB is the third most stress circle for the complete active condition of the Kosu backfill. Dear students, we know that in that most stress circle at point A, sigma H is minimum. That is also called the active earth pressure in the Kosu soil. The length OA on the sigma axis, x-axis. The length OA in that diagram is the minimum horizontal stress sigma H in the active condition. It is also called sigma 3 minimum principal stress. It is also called the active earth pressure for the Kosu backfill PA, length OA. The length OB in the diagram is the major principal stress, vertical stress in the backfill, sigma 1. It is also sigma V. So in that diagram, AB is the more stress circle for the active condition of the Kosu backfill. The third more stress circle with diameter AB. It is the more stress circle at the failure condition of the Kosu backfill in active condition. The length OA is the minimum horizontal stress. It is also equal to minor principal stress sigma 3. It is also equal to the active earth pressure in the Kosu backfill PA. OB is equal to major principal stress sigma 1. It is also equal to the vertical stress sigma V. Now, by using this diagram, we are going to prepare the equation for the active earth pressure PA in the Kosu backfill. What is that active earth pressure? The length OA. You know that in the failure condition, the more stress circle touches the failure envelope. So look at the diagram. The more stress circle AB touching the failure envelope at point D. The more stress circle, this is the more stress circle at the failure condition of the Kosu backfill in active condition. At failure situation, the more stress circle touches the failure envelope, that is at point D. So point D is the point where this Mohr stress circle touches the envelope. OA is sigma 3 and OB is sigma 1. So this diameter of Mohr stress circle is AB. AB is the diameter of the Mohr stress circle. The length AB is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by sigma 3. The length AB is equal to OB minus OA. The length AB, OB minus OA. OB is sigma 1, OA is sigma 3. So AB, diameter of the Mohr stress circle, is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3. Remember, sigma 3 is also the active earth pressure PA in the Kosovo backfill. C is the midpoint of the Mohr stress circle or the center of the Mohr stress circle, point C. It is the midpoint of the line AB. So the length AC is the radius of that Mohr stress circle. So that radius AC is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. And that CD is also the radius of the Mohr stress circle, CD. So the length CD is also sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. So in this diagram, the length OF is equal to C cot phi. The length OA is equal to sigma 3. It is also equal to active earth pressure PA. The length OB is equal to sigma 1. That is also equal to sigma V. The length AB, sigma 1 minus sigma 3, diameter of the Mohr stress circle. The length AC, radius, sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2, and the length CD is also sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2, radius of the Mohr stress circle. Now, dear students, consider this right angle triangle CDF in the diagram. Consider the right angle triangle CDF in the diagram. Now, look at this length OC in the diagram. The length OC. The length OC is equal to the length OA plus the length AC. The length OC is equal to the length OA plus the length AC. What is this length OA? Sigma 3. What is the length AC? Sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. So the length OC in the diagram, OC is equal to OA plus AC. Therefore, OC is equal to sigma 3 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. So you will get this length OC as sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. Sigma 3 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. Simplify that. The length OC is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. Now consider the right angle triangle CDF in the diagram. In that right angle triangle CDF, in the right angle triangle CDF, the length CF is equal to OF plus OC. So please focus on the diagram. The length CF is equal to OF plus OC. What is the length OF? C cot phi. What is the length OC? Sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. So the total length of CF is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus C cot phi. That is the length of CF. And the length CD is the radius of Mohr circle, sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. Now, in that right angle triangle CDF, sin phi is equal to, in the right angle triangle CDF, sin phi is equal to, opposite side is CD divided by hypotenuse is CF. That is this sin phi. Sin phi is equal to CD divided by CF. What is this length CD? Sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. That is the length CD. What is the length CF? Sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus C cot phi. That is the length CF. Now coming to this equation for the active earth pressure PA in the Kosu backfill. So we consider the triangle CDF, right angle triangle. Already I explained in this discussion the radius of the Mohr stress circle, that is AC or CD, sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. And we calculate the length CF is equal to OF plus OC. The length CF is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus C cot phi. So we consider the sin phi in the right angle triangle CDF. In the triangle CDF, sin phi is equal to opposite side is CD divided by hypotenuse is FC. Sin phi is equal to CD by FC. CD is the radius of the Mohr stress circle. What is that radius? Sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2. CF is already we calculated. CF is OF plus OC, that is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus C cot phi, the length CF. So in the right angle triangle CDF, sin phi is equal to CD by CF. Therefore, sin phi is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 divided by C cot phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. Look at the right hand side. In the right hand side, sigma 1 is the major principal stress, that is the vertical stress sigma V. Sigma 3 is the minimum horizontal stress in the active condition, that is also the active earth pressure PA. So please everyone, on the right hand side, keep in mind sigma 1 is the vertical stress sigma V, sigma 3 is the minimum horizontal stress, that is the active earth pressure in the Kosu backfill PA. Now the denominator in the right hand side, bring it to the left hand side. Bring this denominator to the left hand side. This equation becomes as sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 is equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 plus C cot phi into sin phi. So bring that denominator on the right side to the left side. From this you will get sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 is equal to sin phi into C cot phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. Dear students, expand this product sin phi into C cot phi first. Sin phi into C cot phi. Bring this denominator to the left hand side. So on the left hand side we have sin phi into C cot phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2. So in that left hand side, the first product is sin phi into C cos cot phi. What is cot phi? Cos phi by sin phi. So the first product on the left hand side, sin phi into C cot phi. Replace that cot phi as cos phi by sin phi. So the sin phi will cancel on the left hand side. So the first term on the left hand side is C cos phi. That is this first term. So please understand this carefully. C cot phi into sin phi. Cot phi is cos phi by sin phi. Sin phi will cancel. So this product C cot phi into sin phi is C cos phi plus then the remaining sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 into sin phi. That is this remaining term. So simplify this equation by bringing this denominator to the left hand side. You will get from this equation sigma 1 minus sigma 3 by 2 is equal to C cos phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 by 2 into sin phi. Now take this 2 as LCM in the right side. Take this 2 as LCM in the right side. Then this right hand side becomes as, take this 2 as LCM in the right side. This right hand side becomes as 2C cos phi. 2C cos phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 into sin phi whole divided by 2. This right hand side becomes as, take this 2 as LCM in the right hand side. So this right hand side becomes as 2C cos phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 into sin phi. Then this 2 will cancel on both sides. If this 2 will cancel on the both sides, in this equation on the left side, we have only sigma 1 minus sigma 3 because that 2 is cancelled on both sides. On the left side, sigma 1 minus sigma 3, whereas on the right side, what we have on the right side, 2c cos phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 into sin phi. So check that carefully. After the cancellation of 2 on both sides, sigma 1 minus sigma 3 on the left side is equal to 2c cos phi plus sigma 1 plus sigma 3 into sin phi. Expand the right hand side. Keep that left hand side as it is. So the left hand side is sigma 1 minus sigma 3 is equal to, on the right side, 2c cos phi plus sigma 1 sin phi plus sigma 3 sin phi. Expand this product. Sigma 1 plus sigma 3 into sin phi. Sigma 1 sin phi plus sigma 3 sin phi. So expand on the right hand side. So you will get the equation as sigma 1 minus sigma 3 is equal to 2c cot phi cos phi 2c cos phi plus sigma 1 cos phi plus sigma 3 sigma 1 sin phi plus sigma 3 sin phi. So on the right hand side, we have 2c cos phi plus sigma 1 sin phi plus sigma 1 sin phi. Bring that plus sigma 1 sin phi to the left side. Bring that sigma 1 sin phi plus sigma 1 sin phi to the left side, and bring this minus sigma 3 to the right side. Bring this minus sigma 3 to the right side. Bring this sigma 1 plus sigma 1 sin phi to the left side. This equation becomes as. So after that modification, that equation left hand side, sigma 1 minus sigma 1 sin phi. So please follow that carefully. So I omitted some steps for your understanding, and I am explaining those steps to you. So bring that sigma 1 sin phi to the left side and bring that minus sigma 3 to the right side. That equation now becomes as sigma 1 on the left side, sigma 1 minus sigma 1 sin phi is equal to, on the right side, sigma 3 plus sigma 3 sin phi plus 2c cos phi. That is on the right side. On the left side, sigma 1, this is sigma 1 already there, sigma 1 minus sigma 1 sin phi is equal to, on the right side, sigma 3 plus sigma 3 sin phi plus 2c sin phi. Now take sigma 1 common on the left side. Take sigma 1 common on the left side. You will get sigma 1 into 1 minus sin phi on the left side is equal to, on the right side, take sigma 3 first common. Sigma 3 into 1 plus sin phi plus 2c cos phi. So after the modifications, finally we got that equation from that Morse test circle diagram. From the Morse test circle, third Morse test circle diagram, we consider sin phi in the right angle triangle CDF. Sin phi is equal to CD divided by CF. Then we modify that equation. Finally, after all these modifications, we got the final form as sigma 1 into 1 minus sin phi is equal to sigma 3 into 1 plus sin phi plus 2c cos phi. Bring that 2c cos phi to the left side. If you bring that 2c cos phi to the left side, that equation becomes as sigma 3 into 1 plus sin phi. Sigma 3 into 1 plus sin phi is equal to sigma 1 into 1 minus sin phi minus 2c cos phi. So bring this 2c cos phi to the left side. This equation becomes as sigma 3 into 1 plus sin phi is equal to sigma 1 into 1 minus sin phi minus 2c cos phi. From that, the equation for this sigma 3 stress, the equation for the sigma 3 stress is equal to, sigma 3 is equal to sigma 1 into 1 minus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi. Sigma 3 is equal to 1 minus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi into sigma 1 minus 2c cos phi by 1 plus sin phi. That is the equation for the minor principal stress sigma 3. Sigma 3 is equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi into sigma 1 minus 2c cos phi divided by 1 plus sin phi. That is equation 1. In that equation 1, sigma 3 is the minor principal stress in the backfill in active condition. But that sigma 3 is also the minimum horizontal stress in the active condition. That is the failure condition. Sigma 3, the length OA, sigma 3. The length OA is also equal to the minimum horizontal stress, sigma H. That is also called the active earth pressure in the Kosu backfill. The length OA is sigma 3. That is also equal to the minimum horizontal stress in the active condition. That is also equal to the active earth pressure in the Kosu backfill. Therefore, sigma 3 is equal to PA. In the equation 1, the left hand side, sigma 3 is equal to PA. Therefore, from equation 1, you will get PA is equal to, what is that PA? Active earth pressure in the Kosu backfill. PA is equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi into sigma V minus 2c cos phi by 1 plus sin phi. Dear students, from the Rankins active earth pressure theory in portionless backfill, we know that 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi is equal to Ka. What is that Ka? Coefficient of active earth pressure. From the Rankins active earth pressure in portionless backfill, we discussed that Ka. The coefficient of active earth pressure Ka is 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. So here this 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi is Ka. Now please follow this carefully. Ka is equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. On the right hand side, multiply 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi with 1 plus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. Multiply 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi with 1 plus sin phi, divide that with 1 plus sin phi. So Ka is equal to 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi into 1 plus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi. In the numerator, we have 1 minus sin phi into 1 plus sin phi. 1 minus sin phi into 1 plus sin phi, 1 minus sin square phi. That is also equal to cos square phi. Divided by, in the denominator, 1 plus sin phi into 1 plus sin phi, 1 plus sin phi whole square. Therefore, Ka is also equal to cos square phi divided by 1 plus sin phi whole square. Take the square root on both sides. Therefore, root of Ka is equal to root of cos square phi divided by 1 plus sin phi whole square. Therefore, root Ka is equal to cos phi divided by 1 plus sin phi. That is this value. Cos phi divided by 1 plus sin phi is root Ka. Whereas 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi is Ka. Just now I explained. On the right hand side, multiply 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi with 1 plus sin phi and also divide with 1 plus sin phi. Make the modifications, you will get root Ka is equal to cos phi by 1 plus sin phi. So this equation 2 becomes as Pa is equal to Ka into sigma 1. Sigma 1 is the vertical stress sigma V, major principal stress. You know that the vertical stress sigma V is equal to gamma into Z if the backfill is in moist condition. If the backfill is in moist condition, sigma 1 is equal to sigma V is equal to gamma Z. So this equation 2 becomes as the active earth pressure in the Kosu backfill Pa is equal to Ka into gamma Z minus root Ka, 2 root Ka into C, 2 root Ka into C. So here I am not changing the slide. I am explaining the steps in the present slide. Just I am explaining the steps in the present slide. Can you see this equation 2 in the cell phone screens? Please give me the response. Can you see this equation 2 in the cell phone screens? Is it visible? Equation 2 slide is visible. Now in that equation 2, I am explaining the modifications. I am not changing the slide. I am explaining the modifications in that equation 2. On the right hand side, 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi is Ka, the coefficient of active earth pressure, and cos phi by 1 plus sin phi is root Ka. So multiply that 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi with 1 plus sin phi and divide with 1 plus sin phi, and simplify the right hand side. 1 minus sin phi into 1 plus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi into 1 plus sin phi. If you simplify that, you will get cos phi by 1 plus sin phi is equal to root Ka. So this equation 2, finally, equation 2 becomes as Pa is equal to, the equation 2 after the modifications becomes as Pa is equal to Ka into gamma z minus 2c into root Ka. So here on the right hand side of equation 3, Ka 1 minus sin phi by 1 plus sin phi, root Ka cos phi by 1 plus sin phi. So in the Kosu backfill, the active earth pressure equation is Pa is equal to Ka into gamma z minus 2c into root Ka. Whereas in quotientless backfill, please understand this carefully. In the quotientless backfill, Pa is equal to only Ka into gamma z. In the quotientless backfill, according to Rankin's active earth pressure theory, Pa is equal to Ka into gamma z. Whereas in Kosu backfill, according to Rankin's active earth pressure theory, the active earth pressure Pa is equal to Ka into gamma z minus 2c into root Ka. This is second term. Minus 2c into root Ka is coming into the Kosu backfill. Whereas in quotientless backfill, there is no 2c into root Ka. Already we discussed in the quotientless backfill, the active earth pressure Pa is Ka into gamma z. Whereas in Kosu backfill, the active earth pressure Pa is Ka gamma z minus 2c root Ka. So the equation 3 is the modified Rankin's active earth pressure theory for the Kosu backfill. Dear students, with this I am going to stop the today's class. So I explained the active earth pressure equation according to Rankin's active earth pressure theory. I explained that active earth pressure equation for the Kosu backfill. So I think you understand this derivation clearly. The equation for the active earth pressure in Kosu backfill, Pa is equal to Ka gamma z minus 2c root Ka. Whereas in quotientless backfill, Pa is equal to Ka into gamma z. So in the Kosu backfill, the term 2c root Ka is coming onto the right side. That is the modification of the Rankin's active earth pressure theory when the backfill is a Kosu backfill. So with this, I am going to stop the today's class. I hope you understand this derivation of Pa. If you have any doubts, you please discuss with me, or if you don't have the doubts, you please leave the class and join the next class.